Welcome to ET English, the unique English language learning feature of Education Times. This recording is brought to you by Panthea Gunathilaka, the founder of Cleon, Academy for Speech, Drama and Leadership. The Education Times comes to you every week with the Sunday Times, a leading publication of Vijaya Newspapers Limited. ET English introduces a unique way of learning English through stories. It has a short novel and also a picture story, both of which are being published in episodes every week. All the lessons and activities that are given in the feature are from these two stories. Many English scholars accept that when you learn a language through stories, you remember them better. Further, the picture story will complement this by adding the visual component as well, where it will help the readers create vivid images in their minds, helping them remember those dialogues and the words through these incidents. Now we're going to bring the audio version of this feature, where you can listen to the stories and the lessons. First the picture story, secondly the novel, and finally the lessons. The short stories are taken from the book The Mirror of Paradise by Asghar Hussain, and beginning with the new picture story I, Jenners, writer Ranjit Gunaratne. To get the best out of this feature, we suggest that you get a copy of the Education Times and also a dictionary. Also, it will help if you read the feature once or twice on your own. At the same time, try to get the correct pronunciation by listening to audio attentively and repeatedly and trying to read it after every dialogue, emulating the voices that you hear. We shall start now. We bring you part 9 of I, Jenners, the picture story. The writer Ranjit Gunaratne. Illustrations by Anton B. Pereira.
Oh, a friend request from Dilki Pahanya. Who is it?
It's that girl. The one who shouted at you yesterday.
You mean the one who took my photo?
Oh, yes. But why did she send me a friend request? And how on earth?
Dilki, you are a really careless idiot.
Oh, come on. It was a mistake. I never intended to send a request. I know. I should have been more careful. These touch screens are very sensitive.
Useless talking. Now he has already accepted it.
Shall I unfriend him then?
No, don't do that. That would be rude.
Look, Sahas, here comes Reshan.
That girl's brother. What's her name again? Nimali. Hi, Hansaya.
Hello, Malli. How are you? And how was the vacation? Malli, this is Sahas. I guess you've already met him.
Yes, we have. So, are you new to our school? Yes, Molly. I, there is something I want to ask.
Welcome to lesson 19, and we start off with A Good Medical Boy. The short story continues. Episode 19, based on a story by Asghar Hussain, taken from The Mirror of Paradise. But worse was to come. Mr. Dissanayake had hardly finished when his wife began to rant. Just yesterday, on TV, they showed some arts graduates protesting on the roads. They were carrying placards and shouting like animals. They were demanding jobs. Can you believe it? Not enough that they had free education, but they want others to find them jobs also. I saw how angry they looked, shouting like animals. Will anyone employ them when they see their faces? Certainly not me, interrupted her husband. Then he turned to Rajpal and said, You know, I and my brother run a matchbox factory. We have several employees, but not one arts fellow. One fellow worms his way in, and the next moment we'll have a strike on our hands. We were very annoyed now. In fact, we came close to telling the couple that they had some ridiculous notions. Anyway, the man soon got back to the topic of his feet. He removed his sandals, balanced one leg on the other, and displayed his infection. He said they were deep cracks and blisters that oozed. Normally, athlete's foot is not so bad, he said. The skin only peels and itches. But like my wife said, this is a very bad case. We inspected his foot from a safe distance. Suddenly, we heard a banging on the gate. Mrs. Dissanayake mumbled something about the broken bell and got up saying, That must be our daughter. Please excuse me.
Let's start with the activities. Activity 1. Read the text and guess the contextual meaning of the words underlined from the words given within brackets and underline them. Mr. Dissanayake had hardly finished when his wife began to rant. Speak angrily at length. They were carrying placards and shouting like animals. Posters. We were very annoyed now, irritated. They had some ridiculous notions, silly ideas. We inspected his foot from a safe distance, checked. Activity 2. Grammar focus. Let's learn a simple verb phrase in modern grammar. A simple verb phrase is one verb in a sentence. Example, just yesterday on TV, they showed some arts graduates. Read the text and note down sentences with a single word verb. Activity 3. Read the text again and match the responses in column B with the questions in column A. Column A, questions. Column B, responses. When Mr. Dissanayake had hardly finished what happened, E, his wife began to rant. What did they show on TV? D, some arts graduates protesting on the road. How did Mr. Dissanayake display his infection? A, he removed his sandals, balanced one leg on the other, and What were arts graduates demanding? B. Jobs. What did they suddenly hear? C. A banging on the gate. Activity 4. Language expressions from the picture story. Who is it? Who is there? What is it? Where is it? The one who shouted at you yesterday? The one who scolded you that day? You mean the one who took my photo? You mean the one who was in the pink frock? How on earth am I to believe this story? It was my mistake. It was my fault. I never intended to send a request. I never intended to do it. It wasn't intentional. Useless talking now. Useless repenting now. No point in worrying over the matter now. How was the vacation? How was the holiday? There is something I want to ask. There is something I want to know.
Let's take a look at the word bank for today. We have 10 words for you to learn. The first one, intend, means to have a plan, result, or purpose in your mind when you do something. The second word, rude, having or showing a lack of respect for other people and their feelings. Demand is the third word, and it means a very firm request for something. The fourth word is interrupt, to say or do something that makes somebody stop what they're saying or doing. The next word is fellow, which means an informal way of referring to a man or boy. Sixth word is ridiculous, which means very silly or unreasonable. Seventh word, infection, which means the process of being infected with a disease. Eighth word, crack, and this means a line on the surface of something along which it has split without breaking apart. The ninth word, inspect, means to look at someone or something closely, typically to assess their condition. And the 10th and the last word for today, mumble, which means say something indistinctly and quietly, making it difficult for others to hear. With that, we wrap up today's lesson. Dear listeners, thank you very much for taking the time to listen to our recordings. You're welcome to give us your feedback and suggestions on the phone numbers and the email address given in the ET English feature in the Education Time section. We meet again next week. The recording was brought to you by Panthea Gunathilaka, the founder of Cleon Academy for Speech, Drama and Leadership. Until then, goodbye and happy learning.